Hello again, everybody. Welcome to USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. Here now this week's news and features from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. Well, the world's best 15 to 17-year-old athletes joined together last week in Zimbabwe, Hungary for the FIDE Cadet World Championships. The United States entered teams in all three Olympic styles. It was the first Cadet Worlds held since 1999, and the event was a major success. The tournament started with men's freestyle, and with a strong performance, Team USA made a big statement, claiming 2 individual medals to finish in 5th place. 9 of the 10 team members placed in the top 10 of their weight class. The highlight for the team came when Michigan's Adam Kuhn dominated the 220-pound weight class on his way to a gold medal. He was named the Mat.com Wrestler of the Week for his triumph. Kuhn pinned Gino Petrashvili of Georgia in the first period of the gold medal finals. Trailing 4-0, he then took Petrashvili to his back with a body lock to secure the fall. Kuhn opened with victories over Apul Kumar Mandeep of India and Akbar El-Ubaylu of Kazakhstan. In the semifinals, he also stopped the Iranian there, Mujtaba Muradi. Well, it's been a great year for Kuhn, winning titles of the FIDE Cadet Nationals, the Junior Nationals, as well as the Pan American Cadet Championships. National Freestyle Developmental Coach Bill Zadek weighed in on Kuhn's performance.
Adam is a great wrestler, and he's a tough competitor, good athlete. He did a great job the whole tournament. He did a great job during the whole training camp. Stayed after it, was aggressive, offensive. Really, in his first 3 matches, looked very, very dominant and very tough. You know, he did a great job. He got the guy and put the guy in danger, got him on his back, and smelled blood and finished him off. And that's a credit to him, because that's what champions do.
With an impressive performance, Sam Brooks of Illinois won a bronze medal at 187 pounds when he scored a come-from-behind win over Becca Rock-Ashvili of Georgia. The final score there, 0-1, 3-1, 2-1. Brooks won his first 3 matches on the way to his bronze medal performance when he beat athletes from Poland, Romania, and Uzbekistan. In the semifinals, he was defeated by eventual runner-up Aslan Bubalatov of Russia. Coach Zadek was impressed with Brooks' effort and attitude.
Sam Brooks is a very talented young man as well, and just has a huge heart. Super tough, and looked great the whole training camp and the whole tournament. And Sam was really kind of an emotional leader with the group, I think, and just worked hard the whole time. In his matches, was tenacious, wrestled hard in positions where he was best, and stayed after it.
Showing both talent and determination in their first Cadet World appearances, 3 U.S. freestylers placed 5th after dropping bronze medal bouts. Placing 5th at 110 pounds was Dalton Brady of Arizona. Dalton opened strong, beating opponents from the Ukraine, Poland, and Kazakhstan to reach the semifinals, where he was beaten by eventual champion from Russia, Ghazi Murad Rashidov. Brady placed 5th when he fell in the bronze medal bout to Teja Devi Singh Thakur of India. Joey LaValle of Nevada placed 5th at 138 pounds. He opened with a win over an opponent from the Ukraine, and then he fell to Kazbek Tajev of Russia, who went on to make the finals. LaValle won his first repechage bout over Yuri Shezhenenko of Moldova, and then was edged in a bronze medal bout by Surinder Singh Praveen of India. Well, Texan Oliver Pierce took 5th at 152 pounds. He had a win over Mongolian opponent there. Pierce was defeated by Amin Shahpiev of Russia, who also reached the finals. Pierce beat Nicholas Watkins of Canada in the repechage rounds, then lost a close bronze medal bout to Daulat Bekov of Kazakhstan. Coach Zadek gives his overall assessment of the talented Cadet Freestyle World team.
I would say that it was positive. Certainly the result, we want to be the best in the world. And that's the standard we're going to hold ourselves to. We have a solid foundation from which to build and learn and move forward. And what I see is that we have very high quality athletes and quality wrestlers in this country. And we just got to continue to build and grow our program so that we're giving these young guys a future.
Next up, the women's freestyle competition took to the mats in a very competitive field. Team USA won 2 medals and finished in 7th. American fans celebrated another Cadet World gold medal when Haley Agello captured the title at 101 pounds. Agello won 3 matches to reach the finals. She opened with wins over opponents from Kazakhstan and India, and in the semifinals she stopped Doina Ruskovano of Moldova 1-0, 3-1. After losing the first period, Agello dug deep and defeated Sachikat Aguirre of Japan in the championship finals. Agello shut her opponent out to sweep the final 2 periods and bring home the gold. The final score there, 2-6. 4-0, 1-0. This spring, Agello won the Body Bar FILA Cadet Nationals in Kissimmee, Florida, and followed up with her second straight Junior Nationals title in Fargo, North Dakota. U.S. coach Tony DeAnda interviewed Agello after her gold medal triumph.
Probably the biggest obstacle was sticking with it. It started to get hard towards the end, especially with practicing twice a day, every day. It started to get a little tiring after Fargo, after the whole week-long camp, and then I took a little break after that, but it just gets mentally draining, especially with cutting weight and a bunch of practices, so that was probably my biggest obstacle.
Marina Daw, California, won a silver medal at 88 pounds. She won 2 bouts to reach the finals, stopping Umut Nuralikizi of Kyrgyzstan and Anya Munkaeva of Russia. She was defeated in the championship finals by Georgieva Ava of the Ukraine 1-2, 2-5. Doyle won the Cadet Nationals in Fargo in July, the FILA Cadet Nationals prior to that in Kissimmee in April, and won a Pan American Cadet title this year as well. She shares her experience at the Cadet World Championships.
I just realized there's a lot of tough people out there, and I can't go in there overconfident, but I got to be confident in myself. I went to Pan Am's a couple weeks ago, and I won that tournament and got OW, so that gave me a confidence boost. And I've just been training so hard in these past years that I knew I deserved this. I mean, I knew I was definitely going to play some years.
Rachel McFarland of Michigan placed 5th at 114 pounds, picking up key team points for Team USA. She was beaten in her first match by Rizako Kawai of Japan, who went on to make the finals. In the repechage round, she stopped Özlem Guzdag of Turkey. McFarland lost a close battle in the bronze medal bout to the young athlete from Finland, Petra Meret Ali of Finland. Coach DeAnda talked about the overall effort of the U.S. Cadet women's team.
I think overall their effort was good. I think we got a little bit of work to do in some areas like zone tactics, just because some of the girls that were on the world team have done very little freestyle in the past. Maybe some of them have done more, but I think in areas that we need to work on were, like, for example, the zone tactics, where we can use it to our advantage, and we also have to know where we're at on the edge of the mat so that it's not used against us.
Well, the Cadet Worlds concluded with the intense Greco-Roman competition. Placing 8th at 101 pounds, Matthew Rundle of Illinois provided the top performance for the U.S. Greco-Roman team. Rundle opened with a come-from-behind victory, dominating the final 2 periods over Mario Stepic of Croatia 0-2, 6-0, 7-0. In the next match, he lost a wide-open 3-period bout to Kazutoshi Ichioka of Japan 0-1, 9-3, 0-6. When Ichioka failed to make the finals, Rundle was not eligible for the repechage rounds. National Greco-Roman developmental coach Ike Anderson talked about Rundle's effort.
Matthew, biggest competition was his weight, but once we got his weight managed, he made weight pretty good, and then he got a really good draw, and then he went out and he competed against his 2 opponents. He made a couple of mistakes, being a young kid, put him in some situations that he was unfamiliar with. Start and hit him with 2 headlocks before he knew anything, and, we lost the match.
Seeking a second medal of the week, Cadet World Freestyle Champion Adam Kuhn of Michigan also entered the Greco-Roman tournament. Kuhn dropped the competitive and controversial 3-period bout in the first round to Thomas Suz of Slovakia. Kuhn was knocked out of the medal contention when Suz was unable to make the finals.
Well, as an athlete, Adam Kuhn is really a phenomenal kid. And Adam eventually lost the match, but what was really great about Adam, he took it like a man. He shook the kid's hand, didn't yell at anyone, walked off the mat and let the coaches, myself, and the team official, Don Reynolds, try to find out what happened. And, we got all kinds of explanation, but none of them were good. Adam clearly won the match, but it just got taken away from him.
Well, the event was a learning experience for the young U.S. Greco-Roman athletes, and after losing a preliminary match, none of the 8 Americans were eligible for the repechage rounds when all of their opponents failed to make the finals. Coach Anderson gives his perspective on the competition.
We lost to Azerbaijan, who ended up losing the next round to Ukraine. We lost to Uzbekistan, and they end up losing to Russia. So it was really hard for the coaches, and even one time I had a kid lose to Russia. He ends up losing the next round to Armenia. So they got a really tough draw, and that's what happens in this tournament sometimes.
We'll be back. There's more. You're watching USA Wrestling Weekly.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Well, the U.S. Senior World Teams have headed overseas for their final training camps prior to the World Championships in Istanbul in mid-September. Working with USA Wrestling's national coaches will be talented and experienced World Team coaches, volunteers who give considerable time and talents to the U.S. International program. Working with National Greco-Roman coach Steve Frazier are this year's World Team coaches Dan Chandler and James Johnson. Chandler was head coach of the 2000 U.S. Olympic Greco-Roman team, which won 3 medals, including a gold medal from Rulon Gardner. He was an assistant coach for the 1996 Olympic team as well. Chandler has been world team coach for 5 previous U.S. teams, which have produced numerous medalists. A club coach for the Minnesota Storm, Chandler has been USA Wrestling Greco-Roman Coach of the Year 5 times. He knows what it takes to compete for America as an athlete. Chandler made 3 U.S. Olympic teams himself. While Johnson is an official coach for the World Team for the first time, he's coached more than a dozen U.S. International Tour teams in recent years. He serves as head coach for the Sunkist Kids Club, which has won Division II national titles the last 3 years. He also has extensive college coaching experience, and as an athlete, Johnson made 2 U.S. World Teams. Keith Wilson and Kevin Black are working with national women's coach Terry Steiner as this year's Women's World Team coaches. This is the 4th straight year that Wilson will be a U.S. World Team coach. The U.S. placed 5th in the 2010 World Championships, 6th in the 2009 World Championships, and 4th in the 2008 World Championships under his leadership. Wilson was named the 2010 USA Wrestling Women's Coach of the Year. He's also coached U.S. World Cup teams and is club coach with Sunkist Kids, which won national titles in recent years. Black is now on his 3rd World Team coaching assignment, having worked with the 2007 and 2009 U.S. World Teams, with 5th place finishes at both of those world meets. Black was 2009 USA Wrestling Women's Coach of the Year. Kevin serves on USA Wrestling's Women's Age Group Council and also pulls duty as club coach with the New York Athletic Club. Among a group of talented coaches and staff, Freestyle National Coach Zeke Jones is joined by 2011 World Team Coach John Smith. Smith has been a World Team coach for the last 3 World Championships, as well as with the 1998 and 99 World Teams. Smith was co-head coach for the 2000 U.S. Olympic team, plus U.S. teams for the World Cup and Goodwill Games. Leading his Cowboys to 5 NCAA team titles, he's a head coach for Oklahoma State. Smith was one of the greatest wrestlers in history, winning 2 Olympic gold medals and 4 World Championship titles. Team USA will be in great hands in Istanbul with this talented group of World Team coaches. USA Wrestling Executive Director Rich Bender joins us to talk about our World Team coaches.
I mean, we're really incredibly blessed to really have some of the best coaches in our country involved in the USA Wrestling program. Guys like John Smith, Dan Chandler, James Johnson, Kevin Black. Keith Wilson are just really icons in our sport that bring a different level of coaching expertise to our program that we're incredibly grateful to have, and certainly makes a big difference and gives our athletes the best chance to be successful at the elite stage.
Well known as a demanding and talented coach who inspired athletes to greatness and great achievements, the wrestling community mourns the loss of one of its coaches and leaders, as Olympic athlete and coach Jim Peckham passed away last week in Massachusetts at the age of 81. Peckham was inducted as a distinguished member of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2000. Although he did not wrestle in high school and college, Peckham became a top athlete competing in the 1956 Olympic Games in Melbourne, Australia in Greco-Roman, and he was nationally ranked in both styles, Freestyle and Greco. Peckham served as assistant coach for the 1972 Olympic Freestyle team and head coach for the 1976 Olympic Greco-Roman team. He coached numerous U.S. teams at the World Championships, Pan American Games, World Cup, and on the international tours as well. Peckham was a successful college coach, guiding Harvard University for a decade, as well as coaching at Emerson College. He also coached many international wrestlers at the Boston YMCU. He was a legend in his native New England, a mentor to athletes and coaches from across the region. Peckham was respected as a clinician and ran a successful wrestling camp at his home, which was known for its intensity. Peckham leaves his wife of 60 years, Jean, daughter Diana, son Matthew, and many other relatives and dear friends. The wrestling community from across the country and around the world remember Peckham for his intelligence, his wit, and his deep love for the sport. One of those who knew Peckham well was world and Olympic champion Dan Gable.
Jim Peckham was one of the old schoolers that got the athletes to work extremely hard. He was my assistant Olympic coach, and he had a lot of stories, and he had a lot of motivational type of tactics that really worked on everybody, especially me. But most of the things were really good, hard-working, disciplined type of moves from a standpoint of what you do to build your mind to be an Olympic champion or to be a world champion. And I'll miss him.
Wrestling legend Dan Gable spent a few days at the U.S. Olympic Training Center last week at the Freestyle World Team Camp. Gable is a 1972 Olympic champion himself, a 1971 world champion, and a two-time NCAA champion, going on to become one of the greatest coaches in our history, leading 3 U.S. Olympic teams and coaching the University of Iowa to a record 15 national NCAA team titles. USA Wrestling's Craig Sesker talked with Coach Gable about the Wrestling Alliance, the Freestyle World Team, the return of Cael Sanderson, and the Olympic trials.
Well, between the NWCA and USA Wrestling and the Hall of Fames, formed an alliance for the good of the sport, mostly to develop some communication and trust. It's definitely a good start from getting 3 organizations, 3 major people together and trying to actually take us to a new level. And so that's where we're at right now. We took a little break, even though I don't think we have time for that break, but we have our own duties daily too as well. So it's time to move. I think they're pretty talented. Whether they are going to do really good, it's going to depend on just what each guy thinks of himself, no matter what the draw is. We'll know pretty soon. It's the time of the year to perform. It makes all of our jobs a little bit easier from a standpoint of moving forth, being able to make and reach out to get other people to help. You know, I'm out here just to observe for 2 days. I'm going to watch 1, 2, 3 practices, and all I'm going to do is probably have a conversation with Zeke Jones within 48 hours after I leave here, and just say some things that I think will be beneficial for this final burst of performance. So hopefully I'm a little edge coming out here, and I hope it works. I think it's great for the sport. Whether it turns out great for him, yes, yet to be determined. He's already done some good things from a performance point of view. I don't mean back then, but I mean already since he's come back. And I think people are looking up to him. And I think he does look pretty good. He scrambled real well. He didn't have an easy time making it, just because we had some tough competition at that weight class. Names like Sanderson, I just saw Gardner walk by the window here, Cejudo. Those guys are still thinking about competing. I just think we need everybody to chip in a little bit, and when you start getting names that have made it and that are the press pick up on, that's that's very important for us. But I think it's going to depend a little bit on some local performances of the local kids during the season to help build up a little bit more excitement than just the Olympic trials. The Olympic trials are already exciting in itself, but when you put local flavor in there, then you can fill the arena up. And if it's, Metcalf and Sadik and Dennis and some of those guys, don't pick it up a little bit, our attendance will not be as good. You got to really be in contention. You just can't be another player or a wrestler in the tournament. People have to think you're going to win or hope that you're going to win from that point of view. So we got a ways to go yet to make it an outstanding Olympic trials. But I think what we can do is if we really make it an outstanding Olympic trials, then we can set the bar again for 12 and 16.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is USA Wrestling Weekly. Wrestling fans, USA Wrestling has launched a top social networking site designed for you. USA Wrestling Nation is the latest innovation provided to the wrestling community by our sports national governing body, USA Wrestling. Post photos, blogs, and videos, interact on boards. Keep up with your favorite wrestling personalities with USA Wrestling Nation. It's free to register. Join the thousands of wrestling fans that have already signed up and become a part of the USA Wrestling Nation at usawrestlingnation.com. Well, online registration has begun for the 4th annual Preseason Nationals at the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa, scheduled for October 29th. Registration began Thursday, September 1st. There is competition at the high school, middle school, and elementary age levels, and the registration will be capped at 1,500 wrestlers, so sign up early to guarantee yourself a spot in the tournament. Last year, the event sold out in a few short weeks in advance, so athletes of all ages are encouraged to sign up right away. Action takes place on 28 mats in the Unidome at the University of Northern Iowa. Over 40 place winners from the 2010 Preseason Nationals went on to place at the A6 Folkstyle Nationals in April or earn cadet or junior All-American status in Freestyle and GrecoRoman in Fargo last summer. Many others won state high school titles. Preseason national champions who won USA Wrestling national titles later in the season include Matthew Gurelli of Illinois, Colton Adams of Nebraska, Jesse Thielke of Wisconsin, Joey Munoz of Minnesota, Alex Derringer of Wisconsin, Sam Brooks of Illinois, and Cody Crumreedy of Iowa. Sam Brooks also won a FILA Cadet World Bronze Medal last week. You can join this great group of champion wrestlers, make the top of the podium your goal, and test yourself against the best at the USA Wrestling Preseason Nationals. USA Wrestling Preseason Nationals registration and tournament information can be found online at preseasonnationals.com. We'll see you there. Well, the new 2011-2012 USA Wrestling membership year is now upon us, and online registration has begun. Now's the time to either renew your membership or invest in a new membership for the coming year. Memberships can be purchased for the categories of athlete, coach, or officials. In addition, you can now purchase a club charter for the year or apply for a sanction for a USA Wrestling event. If you become a current member before September 15th, you'll be entered into a drawing for a Team USA warm-up and exclusive A6 Performance workout shirt. Coaches will also be entered into a drawing for an all-expense-paid trip to the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs to attend the Fall Coaches Clinic October 20th through the 23rd. Keep a sharp eye out, as there will be other neat prize drawings all year long for current USA Wrestling members. Get ahead of the game and log on today and register for your membership at usawmembership.com. Again, usawmembership.com. Well, Willie Madison, who served as assistant Greco-Roman coach for the U.S. Olympic Education Center at Northern Michigan University over the last 2 years, is leaving his post to accept a new career opportunity. Madison, 31, is moving to Maryland and will assume a uniform protection position within the government. Madison worked under USOEC head coach Dennis Hall last year and head coach Rob Herman this year. Madison has made a major impact on the program during his 2 years as a coach. As an athlete, Madison was nationally ranked Greco-Roman for many years, training both at Northern Michigan as a college student and at the USOTC in Colorado Springs. He's originally from Louisiana. National Greco-Roman developmental coach Ike Anderson talked about Madison's impact on the program.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, but Willie decided that he was going to step down with his coaching role to actually taking a new career path, which I wish best of luck to him. What Willie did for us at the Northern Michigan program, I can't always put it into words.
As always, we want to thank you for joining us. We'll see you all next week right here on USA Wrestling Weekly.